people need us the most when they've been through a disaster like this. There's no time in their lives when they're more vulnerable. Literally thousands of families without a roof over their head or anything to eat. And housing is one of the fundamental things that they need. And I know HUD employees, we respond to what the American people need. And disasters are a time when they are most at need. And so we have to respond.
This specific storm, it hit close to home. I'm from Connecticut. Connecticut shorelines were battered. And it really struck a chord watching the news, watching what people were going through. No one should have to go through that. So I wanted to help.
My background's in community development. I always look for opportunities to give back to the community, and this for me is home. And as an opportunity to volunteer, this was something that I couldn't pass up. Given the opportunity, I wanted to be here.
When I saw on the news what was happening and the suffering that was going on in this area, I felt that I needed to be part of the solution, to come down, represent HUD, and to try to assist in any way possible.
Knowing that because of the density of this region, there's a lot of needs, and if what I can do here in the Joint Field Office helps make everybody in the disaster recovery centers better resources, then I think I might have accomplished some of my job.
I am responsible for both states, New York and New Jersey, and all of the HUD programs that are administered within our region, and that includes disaster recovery.
Because of the size and scope of the disaster, the Secretary and their office felt that they needed to have someone representing them on the Unified Coordination Group. So I was appointed for New York, and Diane Johnson, my counterpart in New Jersey, was appointed for New Jersey. And the way that FEMA runs a disaster, they have a federal coordinating officer, and then his or her most immediate staff is and coordinating body is this Unified Coordination Group, and then the major elements of that particular type of disaster are represented there.
I'm essentially appointed by the President of the United States to lead all federal efforts with regard to actions that we can take to support the state and local government as they respond to a disaster. And in this particular one, probably what we're seeing is one of the largest disasters in our history. Certainly the largest disaster that New York City's ever had.
HUD's role at a disaster recovery center is to provide resources. Currently, we are using a housing portal through FEMA to let people know about available apartments in the area, and because of limited internet access or socioeconomic limitations, we do the housing searches for them. We provide resources to everyone that comes in. Whatever their situation is, we respond to it.
I have the responsibility of coming up with a needs assessment for the state of New York and all of the 13 affected areas. And part of that needs assessment is to reach all facets of the community: affordable housing, low-income housing, multifamily housing, single-family housing. And based on that needs assessment, I have the responsibility, along with my team, is to develop the priorities for those areas. And after we determine the priorities, we have the responsibility of coming up with a long-term housing strategy for the various communities.
If we look at a disaster recovery to get back to normal as sort of a pie, we all take chunks of it. The FEMA programs, our individual assistance and public assistance programs takes maybe a quarter of the pie. Our hazard mitigation might take another 15% of the pie. Insurance, which is always private insurance, will take a large section. And then HUD comes in with CDBG to help communities rebuild. And then there's still always a gap, that we have to figure out together. If we didn't have HUD at the table, we wouldn't be able to have the kind of intelligent conversation that we need to have to fill that gap and to make recommendations to the community as to what the best way to move forward is. So having a strong HUD presence at the beginning, being able to meet with Secretary Donovan early on in the first week of the disaster with the key people, be able to see the direction we wanted to go, having all the resources, all the technical experience that we have, engaging up front as much as we can so that we can get ahead of this challenge.
I see HUD's role as being pivotal. We not only provide programs and funding for housing, we provide economic development, and so we are key in establishing any type of urban housing program for long-term recovery and building in the future.
Housing plays an element in most disasters, whether it's a 3-county flood or whether it's a statewide or multi-state disaster like this is. So I think our role will continue to increase.
And I look forward over the next few years, as we help this region recover, to continuing to build on HUD's talents of making communities that are vital, full of opportunity, to bringing that to the nation's disaster response. And I think you'll see HUD stepping up into stronger roles, into bigger roles in future disasters on this long-term recovery piece.
When you see disaster survivors who've lost everything like you see on television, and then if you get to work in a disaster recovery center like some of our staff have done from all over the country, if you get to work with our partners in FEMA and provide disaster housing opportunities, or in my case, to work with a team of 30 or so people, to do all of those things, and then also to provide departmental visibility and advice to the federal coordinating officer, and as well to have the Secretary have a presence here. It's very rewarding. So
I came into it a little unprepared, a little unsure about what I was going to be working on, but the biggest thing is that you have to be flexible. People are going to come to you with questions about housing that don't pertain to HUD, and you still need to meet their needs in whatever way you can.
You have to experience it. I'd recommend everyone try it. You're dealing with a situation that is totally out of your comfort zone. You're going to meet wonderful people. You're going to be in situations that will challenge you, both personally and professionally.
As federal employees and as public servants, this is our calling, or else we would not be working in the federal government. And it is especially important that we step up to the plate and help our clients in times of need, in times of disaster. And our HUD employees nationwide have always risen to the challenge of assisting clients, whether it be through our work in everyday programs or in disaster relief and recovery.